Did you know right now we are in a seller's market with 3.5 months of inventory? What does it mean for you? Simply put, homes are in demand and the sellers have the upper hand. Okay, so for the buyers, this means being prepared to act quickly when you find the right home. Sellers, this is a great time to consider listing your property. Looking at inventory trend, we've seen a 5% increase over the last month and a substantial 23% rise over the past year. This suggests more homes are entering the market, which could gradually shift the balance. Buyers might see more options soon, but the seller still have the advantage right now. With that, let's just dive right into the market update for today's episode. In September, we actually have 5,933 homes that is closed, which is up about 6.3% from last year and a slightly higher than August. What about the resale and the new home if we separate them? The resale home is actually increased 11.5 year over year. So when you compare with 2024, there's actually more homes that has been sold in the resale category. Resale meaning that someone already owned a house and they decide to sell back to the market. This actually showing new activity in the resale market, especially at the higher price point after a slower summer. What about new home sale? It's actually down 8.9% compared to last year, signaling builders are facing more challenges than the resale homeowner. What about price? Okay, because we talk about that the number of resale homes is actually more than the new homes available on the market. What about the price? The overall median home price is now at $480,072. That's actually up 3.6% year over year and 2.9% compared to August. The resale is with the median sale price at $470,000. That's actually up 4.4% compared to last year. So in contradictory, with a lot of people thinking the home price actually goes down. When we combine all the number, right? But the reason why a lot of people see that the home price is actually go down because there's a lot of reduction. Well, true that while there is a lot of reduction, but the actual sold price, when we calculate the median, which is the average of all the sold price, we see actually an increase of 4.4%. The new home price is $5,645. Okay, that's actually still up 2.7% year over year and slightly down from August. This basically shows that while the new construction is slowing, the resale market is carrying the momentum into fall. Now, if you're looking at this, I kind of guess the reason why the new home sale is struggling because of the price. Even though the new home construction, they do have a lot of incentive for the buyer, including buy down interest rate to as low as 2.99, 3.99, right? Their median sold price is still way too much, 50,000 more than the resale home. And I think that's the reason why it's driving away the buyer who interested in buying a house. Additionally, the new home nowadays is more like in the outskirt area, which is not very attractive location, right? So that maybe could be reason number two that I can think of. Let's go into now the market trend. In this one, we are going to look at the Comfort Market Index. This is the index created by Comfort Associate, okay? One number can show the condition of the market. If it is less than 90 points, it is a buyer's market. If it is from 90 to 110, it is in the balanced market. And if it is more than 110, it's actually in the seller's market. In general, we are in a very balanced market right now. The Comfort Market Index is just over 0.4% over the last month, signaling a no change in market at all. We actually have 11 cities that improve for sellers, leading by Tempe, Mesa, and Goodyear. We have Tempe at 9% increase toward the seller, Mesa of 6% toward the seller, and Gilbert at 10% toward the seller. 6 cities that actually favor the buyers, including Paradise Valley, Avondale, Cave Creek, Glendale, Buckeye, and Maricopa. As you already know, I already emphasized so many times that Maricopa is actually struggling right now with the market. Right now, you see, Maricopa has been at the bottom of the table for so many months. And if you do want a good negotiation a good buy, and if you don't care about the location, Maricopa could be the one for you. But keep in mind, either if you're leaving, you have to consider the distance away from Chandler and things like that. We are actually now at 7 sellers market. The seller has a lot of negotiation power. Okay, we're talking about Fountain Hills, Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, Chandler, Gilbert, Avondale, and Cave Creek. Okay, so those are the cities that the seller has a lot of negotiation power. 4 in the balanced market, which is Mesa, Phoenix, Glendale, and Peoria. Now, guess what? Mesa is very, very close to the seller's market, okay? And with the same increase rate right now, it could reach the seller market very soon. 6 in the buyer's market, which means the other cities, including Tempe, Goodyear, Surprise, Queen Creek, Buckeye, and Maricopa. The takeaway from this, the market is tilting back and forth. Okay, as you see here, last 2 video, there's very balanced, 6, 5, 6. Okay, very balanced, and now it's 7, 4, 6. Okay, and maybe a month ago you're gonna see 6, 4, 7. Okay, so it's tilting back and forth, and competition depends heavily on price point and location. So even though this gives you a very good idea of how the market behave in general in one area, it's also different depending on the price point as well. So if you're interested in customized information for your personal need, feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to provide that specific information as well. What about a mortgage? Okay, as a title, as we know that the market interest rate has reached 6.13 back in September 16. That is the lowest for the last 10 months. But right after the Fed announced that the rate will be cut, the interest rates jump back to 6.35, which caused a lot of people concerning about interest rate. And it's actually cooled down a lot of demand compared to the first half of September. Fortunately, for those who lock in the rate before September 17 is in the right shape, because you actually have, believe it or not, 6.13 is the lowest for the last 10 months. But the people who are waiting is now facing a higher cost again. The key takeaway from this is this: if you are interested in buying a home for the next 1 or 2 months, you should not wait. A lot of people wait for the low interest rate. But here's the thing, we never know when the interest rate gonna be hitting low again. One day it could be 6.13, and the next week it could be 6.36 again, and the next week maybe it's gonna go up again. So it's up and down, up and down. My advice is this: if you calculate the monthly payment and you feeling okay with 6.36, do that. Buy the house, lock in, move out of the rent situation, maybe rent it out, so that you don't have to worry about purchasing a home anymore. And whenever the market has the low interest rate that fits your personal situation, you can simply just do the refinance without thinking about whether it is a good time to buy or not. So that's my takeaway from this slide. Next couple of slides, we are going to talk about the national trend. First, we're going to talk about the Case-Shiller report just come out. The Case-Shiller index show a broad weakness in the south and the west. Specifically, for Phoenix, we actually have a down number, 0.79% down, and that's ranked 18 out of 20. Okay, 18 out of 20 is not the number that we should proud of, right? When we look at the year over year, it's actually also down 0.9% compared to the national average of 1.68%. City in the Northeast and the Midwest, like New York, Chicago, are outperforming everywhere else. Why? Because the lack of supply is still there in those areas. New York actually have a 6.4% increase compared to year over year, and Chicago is 6.2%. While other area with the abundant supply, well, more supply than before, is struggling, like Phoenix, right? Like Tampa, negative 2.8%, and Miami, negative 1.3%. Still struggling. For Phoenix, this highlight is a sharp contrast. While the sales volume and the resale activities are rebounding locally, the pricing power is still weaker than the national average. Now, this is also, if you don't remember everything I said about today, this is a slide that shows the market is not crashing. Here's the thing, we see that some of them is positive increase and some of them is negative downgrade. If the market is crashing, we expect to see all the market gonna go down, not just 1 or 2 like this situation. So this is another reason why I don't believe that the market is going to crash anytime soon. What about home price? Depend on the area, okay? Depend on the home area. In the West and in the South, where the home supply has already recovered to the pre-pandemic levels, like Phoenix area, the price rose is low. But in the Midwest and the Northeast, limited supply, especially in the New York, Middle Atlantic area right here, is way increased a lot. Like a lot of appreciation happening in those areas. The median sale price of home for the last 50 years. So this is why I want to show you this chart so that if you worry about the home price going to crash, if you are looking at the median sale price of homes over the last 50 years, the chart is clear. Despite the downturn, the long-term trend has always upward. I show you a couple of slides, this slide right here, and I say that they show no rush and no crashing at all. So you don't have to worry about that. So even if there's a drop, there's a crash, 2008, 2009 crash here, 2019, 2020 crash here. Overall, the home price has shown that it will increase again. So you don't have to worry. Especially if you're the first-time home buyer, do not worry about the market crash. I know a lot of people lose their house and lose their investment back in 2028 and 2009, and that's not fun, right? But if you own a house and you keep it, generally you will see the home price will go up. That's the trend that I want to show here to calm you in this current market right here. First, this is even the first slowdown. From the early 1980 recession to the dot-com, to the bust in 2008, or to even the COVID, very recent, right? Every single slowdown eventually end up in the recovery. So always come back. And history shows that the housing market rebounds stronger over time. You see here, some example, home sale dropped 50%. It took only 4 years to recover. 2008, 51%, 3 years to recover. COVID 2020, the home sales dropped 27% and 8 months later is crazy, okay? We now entering the 39% home price drop will come to an end very soon. It's from 2022 right until right now is about 2 years already, so it's due for a recovery, and we don't see it continue to crash as I indicate in the previous slide before. While today's market feels slower and the data tell us this is the part of the cycle and the recovery is always coming up next, okay? For the seller, September has better, okay, it was better for you with the resale price actually bouncing back. But be prepared for the stiffer competition as new listing rise this fall. Strategic pricing and patience are always the key. Even if you have the right price, okay, you still have to be patient. The buyer is going to take longer time to make the decision. Here's the buyer advice. You are in the mixed market. Certain cities are still in your favor and interest rate could give you leverage. If they dip again, locking in. When rate fall, can save you hundreds on monthly payments. Thank you so much everyone for watching today's episode, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.